Ready?
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to Frenemies. I'm Ian.
I'm Moses of Durman.
That's actually impressively fast, I'm not gonna lie. And we are back for more Young Justice. It's just because he's been at it for a little bit, so he's starting to run dry.
Oh, okay.
I
He's
tried
running out of ideas.
I tried to tell him he can just use his name, but he refuses. Anyway.
Okay, so we went through the team building phase, and then we had the actual choosing of leadership with the Atlantean man.
Aqualad. Or Calder.
Yeah, Waterboy. He now is the interim leader until Robin becomes
that's what he had told to Robin. He's like
angsty teen.
He's like you have great potential to be leader, but until then I will hold it.
Yeah.
And then I'll give it to you. And
he's like super experienced because he's running with
Batman. Yeah. But to be fair, so is Calder. He's also been running with Aquaman, who's a king. So,
yeah.
So you know, they both experienced. Yeah, they've dealt with Bane and the Venom, the formula, as well as that finding out that Cobra was mixing that with
something
the
else.
Blockbuster from episode 1 and 2.
What was the guy's name? The guy who I referred to as Slade in whenever we watched it.
The last episode?
Yeah, the one that kind of like Super Soldier.
Okay, that's Sportsmaster.
Sportsmaster.
Yeah. What's funny is that in the comics, not cool.
He's not cool.
Not cool.
All right.
Not, it's funny because there was like a not kind of behind the scenes. It was again I remember what it was now. It was basically an interview for like a panel at one of the cons, one of the Comic Cons. It was when they were getting ready to talk about finally making season 3, because I don't know if you know, but after season 2 it was canceled. It sucked.
Okay.
But they finally got the go to start working on season 3. And they were talking about bringing in Sportsmaster, and I was like, you know what? Why don't we bring him into it and somehow make him cool? Yeah,
not make him trash.
Well, it was just kind of like in like the 60s, like in the golden era, where it's kind of like semi goofy, but it's fun.
Yeah, because I mean, like he almost single-handedly took down the entire team.
He
doesn't have super strength or anything like that.
The thing is, he does not. He only went up against Miss Martian and Superboy. But those are the two.
Until the other came, right?
No. He was only going against them. Remember? Because so what happened was McGann, she went camouflage, and then he threw his javelin, which had a proximity mine on it. She dodged it because somehow he kind of like knows like the ripple. He noticed that.
Like the radius of the explosion.
No, I'm saying he kind of like sort of noticed her as she was camouflaged.
Like moving. Yeah.
So he kind of like, wait a second, and then threw it, and
I thought you were talking about like he knew the proximity bomb, like the radius, so he knew where to throw it, even if she did dodge.
That too, but the fact that he kind of like saw her as she was camouflaged, and there was no like lenses on his mask. He just noticed her. And then with Superboy, we were kind of like joking about it before. It's like nobody's aiming, and then he's like, "I could do this."
Just like perfect aiming the
entire
shot,
time. Almost every shot, but it wasn't like just rapid fire. But still, it was impressive. But yeah, honestly, quite a long recap. But there you go.
This may be a side question, something that you maybe would answer afterwards or now. It doesn't matter. Has there ever been a villain in the DC universe that has actually stood up to Batman who also doesn't have any superpowers?
Oh, plenty. Batman's not, unbeatable. He's just he's just super extremely skilled. There's just other extremely skilled people as well. There's Ra's al Ghul, there's Slade, there's what's her name? Lady Death. That's a completely different show. Or Marvel is what I was actually accidentally going into. Oh no, I can't remember her name. Oh no, she's that's not a lady.
It's just the Joker.
It's just the Joker.
It's the only guy who fought Batman.
Oh my God, Shiva. I just remembered, Lady Shiva. I was right. It was Lady Shiva. I'm pretty sure that's it. If not, I'm so sorry. Anyway. Jeez, like score.
Before he could even put on his suit. There's the suit.
Oh boy.
And Wonder Boy.
Super. Oh dear.
He's getting sniped. Oh
I had that. I didn't want to take the chance. As it is, your landing could have destabilized the entire bridge. It didn't, but it could have. We don't yet know the limits of your powers. Well, maybe you could, you know, help me figure that out.
Come on, Dad!
Got that covered. Yeah, I know, but... Superman. Wait, Arrow, slow down. What's attacking? Sorry. Superboy. Duty calls.
Hold on.
Already got the alert, Bruce.
I know, Clark. But we need to talk.
Oh no! You was in trouble with Batman.
You're being a bad father.
I'll throw a lot at you. Everything I've learned from my own mentors.
Oh my God, she's
My own
hot.
voices. What happened? The job. You should always be acting, never reacting. I'll need a sparring partner.
Right here. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. As soon as she took off her jacket, I was like, yep, it's him.
I'll show you my moves.
Yeah.
Hurts so good.
That's so good.
But did anyone see what he did wrong?
Oh, he hit on teacher and got served? Dude!
He allowed me to dictate the terms of...
Oh, please.
Oh.
With my powers, the battle's always on my terms. I'm a living weapon, and this is a waste of my time.
Prove it.
But what if she wasn't good at fighting? It doesn't hurt. Uh-oh.
You're angry. Good. But don't react. Channel that anger into...
I think Robin would do pretty good against you.
That's it. I'm done.
Training is
I mean,
mandatory.
I'm pretty sure Batman can beat her.
Batman to the cave.
Doesn't mean Robin could.
5 hours ago,
Robin trains
new
with a
menace
lot, I'm
attacked
sure.
Green Arrow and Black Canary. The attacker was capable of studying, then duplicating the powers and abilities of its opponents. Arrow called in reinforcements, which nearly proved disastrous, as our foe gained more and more power with each new combatant.
That guy just catch Superman out of midair and slap Flash with Superman.
It took 8 Leaguers 4 hours.
So now we take out your trash?
You had something better to do.
God, that's so cool.
On our way.
You're garbage. I'm done with there today.
I told you, we need to talk.
Darn it!
Is disaster the opposite of aster? See, instead of things going wrong, they go right.
Got a point.
Clearly you're not feeling
He's been this
aster.
way since episode
What's wrong?
1.
Canary.
He brings it without trying.
It's this whole whelm theory that he had the first time around.
Robot monkeys! Totally Ivo's tweak style. Hey, switch your ride to battle mode.
No point.
Or not.
Alright, cool. Just mess me up. That's alright.
Now he has laser vision.
Yep. Six arms? She created one. Shapeshifter, man. Uh-oh. Oh,
Die.
there's just a lot of them. Continue to, boy.
That thing rolled on him.
Nah.
Ha! The parts have GPS. The monkeys can track the signal, which means I can track them with the one I captured. Looks like both sets of parts are converging on... Gotham City.
That far south? McGann and I won't get there anytime soon. I'm sending Kid on ahead to meet you. Aqualad out.
What speed do you have to run to create an after image? Let me know the physics behind that one.
Look, I know he troubles you, but he's here. You have to get over the how and why. Trust me on this. This boy needs his father.
I'm not his father. I'll take that pie to go.
True. Those two guys are massive, man. Well, hope you get there in time, Superman.
Oh, hello.
You? You're Ivo? I'm whelmed.
You're wonderful. Since when does the big blue Boy Scout have a brat?
He doesn't.
Access, Captain Adam.
Ouchie.
Since Professor Ivo's magnificent monkeys don't float your boat, maybe my amazing Amazo would better suit you. Or better slave.
Enter Amazo.
No! He single-handedly almost took on the Justice League, and now he's just fighting Superboy. This is the worst scenario, man.
Oh, sorry. Did that strike a nerve? Amazo, strike a few more.
Oh, God.
Access, Black Canary.
So she can do that, by the way.
Flash.
Oh, God.
Gosh.
Martian Manhunter.
No, I take back what I said before. This is an Android 18. This is Cell.
Yeah, well. Oh. Dude, Amazo is no joke.
He went to the city.
Oh, they were passing by. Drop them off, you know?
Yeah? From 400 yards? Jesus.
This every turn, man. That's not quite good.
That all you got?
Access.
Yeah, that's what Vegeta said right before he almost died.
Almost. But it should be okay. God.
Martian Manhunter. Access, Red Tornado.
Ah, they get to fight the entire Justice League.
Yeah, but one at a time, so it's fine.
Access.
Come on, where's the actual Superman at, man?
Martian Manhunter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was badass.
Access, Black Canary.
Work! That canary through Superboy.
Wait, did Robin shoot the arrow?
No?
Access Black Canary.
Oh, yawn. Normally Amazo would study and mimic your abilities during battle, but what's the point? You're all such poor copies of the originals.
So everyone keeps saying. It makes me angry!
Anyone want to play keep away? Yeah. Oh, me!
Access, Superman. Martian Manhunter. Superman.
That's what I'm talking about, boys.
Help me disassemble him now.
Dude,
He actually just outplayed him.
Don't take any chances.
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Where the hell
Feeling
did the
the
arrow
Aster.
come from?
Hey, where's Ivo?
I don't know, but he's feeling the Aster, so that's all that matters.
The Aster.
You will learn.
The amazing.
Complications come with the job. Your ability to handle them has impressed the League.
The whole League?
Given time, yes. Kryptonians, as you know, have very hard heads.
Look familiar? You were following us, babysitting. You still don't trust us.
We didn't follow you.
And that's not your arrow. That means Speedy.
He has our backs.
Souvenir.
I'm ready.
Good, because I'm here.
Can you imagine? Super strength mixed with martial fighting skills.
If Batman and Superman did the fusion dance. So as I said before,
yes. Hey, man.
Roy
Yes.
is Anakin.
Wait, why?
Because he's still unsure. He's teetering. He's like, I'm gonna help my friends, and then the next arrow is gonna go right through Robin's head, and the show's gonna take a brutal turn.
Okay, so you were saying that Roy is the one that shot the arrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they mentioned at the end.
Yeah, no. I just didn't know what you were talking about a second ago. You're just like Anakin. I was like, what?
Yeah, because I said Roy was Anakin in the very first episode.
No, I know. I remember. I edited it. But what did you think about that? Your first introduction to Amazo.
He's actually Cell, but dumber.
Well, no, originally not supposed to be, but in this one he's more so just I guess a mindless android that follows orders. Originally, not so much.
Originally, so in
like
the
in
comics he was like.
Well, I don't know about. I can't for sure say comics, but in the Justice League cartoon he does show up.
Oh, okay.
And he's not. He doesn't just like follow orders like that. He actually can talk too. I mean, I know this thing talked, but it was only to say accessing so and so forth. But no, it would like hold conversations like it was. It had an AI and was growing self-aware and all that stuff.
More like Red Tornado than just a mindless being.
Except, it could replicate abilities by looking at you.
That's dumb. That's pretty dumb.
It's pretty bad.
At least Cell had to have like the DNA in his body.
Right. Here's the cool thing about that though was at least in the Justice League cartoon is when he did do that, and I have a problem with like wanting to go to different things, and I go over myself. I'll
branch through the universes.
Yeah. But what I was originally going to say is whenever they did that in the Justice League cartoon and Superman showed up, it's like, hey, you stay away because he's going to get your powers. We will be screwed. So what they end up doing is they kind of cover his eyes so that Superman can fight him. But then he eventually gets it knocked off, and he sees Superman, and they're like, oh, crap. But then Batman comes in, and he's like,
kryptonite. The guy died.
And he actually felt it.
Why?
So, along with accessing he scans everything about you, and he acquires all of it. Okay. So he got, along with the powers, he got the weaknesses.
I mean, that's the way Cell was, but at the same time, it was like, I don't think they ever showed anything to where Cell actually had like a formidable weakness. Like Goku wasn't like Superman where he had kryptonite problems.
The only issue is that I think afterwards he was able to filter it out. But in the first go round.
But luckily in this show, he doesn't have the super strengths of that where he can take.
He did have Superman's powers.
Well, he did, but he couldn't instantly transform to it.
Yeah,
and on the same note, he didn't have Superman's weaknesses, although his Batman.
At least that we knew of.
Well, Batman would have been able to take him himself.
Well, he didn't show up.
Well, he got his.
They might not
have got his ass beat the first time.
Well, Batman. Batman was there, right?
Yeah, he
was.
Okay.
Well, maybe the thing is they probably didn't know that. They didn't because they didn't show him or show them using any weaknesses that they would have.
Yeah, I mean they only showed Superman and Flash getting a beat down.
So who got hit by who?
I know Superman came flying in. He caught him, slung him around in circles the way that he did Superboy, and hit Flash.
So Batman
with
wasn't
Superman.
There, right?
Not in the film. No,
right.
It was just them two. But he did say it was 8 Justice League members.
It took 4 hours. And then he said that, I forgot who he called, I think it was Green Arrow, who called in more for help, and he said it was almost a detriment, because then they got more abilities.
Oh.
So that was kind of an unfortunate call. But
he did not. He didn't say that he had Batman's abilities in the gym whenever he was fighting them. He never did the scan for it.
Yeah, he used a lot of Canary, which some of it, which was really cool that he scanned him, This was slightly different than it was in the show. Whenever he said Black Canary, he did do the scream at a couple moments, but one time when he said Black Canary, he used it for her martial skills, which I thought was really cool. Because at one point, Superboy charged at him from behind, and then he just caught Superboy and threw him. After he said accessing Black Canary, he caught him and threw him. So he was able to access martial capabilities as well.
I was just trying to remember and write down everything that the people that he said, so I could break down who the 8 people.
Captain Atom
was one. Captain Atom.
Captain Atom was one, and I'm assuming Green Arrow was there. But I mean, there's a bit. I don't know exactly how he would replicate that, except for his accuracy and his skill. Yeah. With that. So maybe if he were to pick up an object and throw it or something, I don't really know. Or he could just literally create and shoot an arrow from his hand. I don't know.
So yeah, it was Canary, Red Tornado, Superman, Martian Manhunter, Atom, Captain Atom, and
Flash.
That's right, because he was super fast.
Right.
But that's only...
Dude, you didn't see him pummeling poor Superboy as he acted Superboy.
So who are the last 2?
I don't know for sure.
It might come into effect later, because I'm sure he's not the only Amazo that he's built.
I think it was supposed to be because that was the first time fighting it. So hold on, it's kind of shit because you kind of you were freaking out, rightfully so.
A guy who hasn't even completed his training or anything drops down in front of the guy.
Yeah, and the guy.
It was literally like the scene where you have Goku who's just Gohan's gonna fight Cell.
No, but
everyone was just like, what?
No, but here's because you looked away or you were freaking out during the point where he accessed Flash abilities and just laid into Superboy. So we'll see
the
that
Screech, which we haven't seen Black Canary actually use yet. Okay.
But most people know her abilities, so I don't know. That sucks.
Oh! Jeez, man.
Yeah, man. It's no good. It's a bit painful.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that drew on my old feelings of literally everyone's set up for the Cell games. Goku's fighting this guy, and he is not beating Cell. And everyone can clearly see he's not beating Cell, as we saw Superman getting beat up by this guy.
Amazing,
and then Goku's just Gohan, it's your time, buddy. And everyone's what?
Makes sense.
And now you have Superboy challenging the guy.
The issue I like though, this episode was obviously about his insecurity of being essentially kind of rejected.
In the shadow of Superman.
Yeah, that too. And one of the reasons he kept headstrong heading in there is want to prove himself, and every time freaking Ivo was just you basically you pale in comparison essentially every time, and so that just kept egging him on.
Such a condescending asshole.
Oh God, dude, Jesus, you don't even. But what I liked though was the way they took it down, and because it's funny, they've said they took them 4 hours to take this thing down, but the thing is they also were using. Probably strategy, but brute strength essentially.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing: what they didn't have was Ivo, and so they were able to use that against Ivo essentially. Because I was gonna say use it against the robot, but because it did, but it was Ivo that was the one that called the shots. He was like, "Protect me, Program Alpha." So put that foremost. So his focus wasn't there. It was just
it was on defense.
Yeah, it was all right, I'm gonna do this. So basically, he was distracted and was able to be tricked into. Making himself vulnerable, so that he used intangibility, which allowed Superboy to actually punch through his face.
Yeah.
And so when he solidified it, broke it. So I thought that was really cool. That showing
that could happen in D&D.
Oh Jesus! Yeah. Oh boy, can it? Oh, there's a dude. Anyway, we won't go into that. And some people I can understand why. They'd be like, I can't believe that Justice League had this much issues when these kids did it in such a short time. It was like, yeah, but you gotta take this in consideration.
Yeah.
They didn't have this because even Ivo himself said, I don't usually come to these things, but you're kids and I want to see you guys get screwed up. So, mainly Superboy because the others weren't even there yet. But I just really like the different avenue they went to take him down. That was a bit easier, and it helped that they had something there that Justice League did, and it was Ivo. So, but yeah, basically after he's taken down, you have to separate him, and because he can repair.
I did have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any evil archers in the DC universe?
In the DC universe, more than likely, yes. There's one that I know of called the Dark Archer, or Merlin is where he goes. Another name he goes by. It's basically one of Green Arrow's villains, but I don't know a whole lot about him in terms of the comics. I know him from the show, but
because my theory still holds.
About
this could be Roy, but then again, it could be another villain that also hates Ivo for whatever reason.
True.
So
just he helped them essentially just to get an Ivo kind of thing. I can see that.
Because he hasn't seen, like, he's been tracking Amazo or something, and he hasn't seen Ivo actually show up to anything.
Right.
And so he finally had a chance to, like, get back at Ivo for whatever. Even though he's not a hero. He might even be called, like, an anti-hero, like the way, I guess you could call Joker an anti-hero.
No, you can't. You really can't.
Well, I guess it depends on which Joker. Because there has been moments to where, like, in, like, the movies for Batman, where Joker actually semi-helped Batman?
Yeah, he'll help at moments where he
benefits both parties.
Right, or when it's entertaining to him. But it doesn't he's just a straight-up killer. He's a psychopath. There's no rhyme or reason to what he does. So, he's just a psychopath. There's really no category for him. He's definitely not an anti-hero. He's a straight-up villain. Like, he's straight up. I mean, I don't know if you know about, but he killed one of the Robins.
He killed one of the Robins?
Yeah, because I mentioned this before that I don't know if you knew that there's more than one Robin.
Well, yeah.
Okay, but like it's like
3.
The 3 main Robins, yeah, because versions and stuff like that, different things. But in the second Robin, after Dick leaves and becomes Nightwing, Jason Todd becomes Robin, and later on down the line, Joker beats him to death with a crowbar. Yeah. So yeah, and that's one of the slightly tamer cruel things that he's done in his time. So I wouldn't necessarily call him an anti-hero. No, and he's the reason Batgirl is paralyzed. He shot her in the spine. So
is there any anti-heroes in the DC universe?
Batman's technically an anti-hero. Like, he's in certain circles considered an anti-hero because he's one of the ones that's ready to skew the law to do good, essentially, I guess. Like, there's a comparison between him and Superman. Like, Superman, like the Boy Scout kind of a person.
Yeah.
Like, if the government will ask them to do something more, it depends on how bad it is. Superman will, comply. But most time, Bruce will buck it and just be like, "That's stupid, no." But it's not always the case.
So it's like the difference between, like, Iron Man and Captain America. Like,
kind of, yeah. One of my favorite things, like smaller side stories in this episode, was obviously the Bruce and Clark thing. Whenever at the very beginning, it was just like, we need to talk.
Yeah, we need to have a talk.
You can't be doing this. I can see. I mean, you can. It's hard enough to understand.
He's watching his crappy parenting from a building upstairs. He sees Superman land, and he's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. This guy, this non-earthly being, trying to be a human parent.
Well, he wasn't. He was literally like trying to shrug off that. He wasn't.
Yeah, I know, but in that moment he needs to be.
No, I know, but he wasn't like saying him. Your bad attempt at being a parent. He wasn't. He was just like, I'm not responsible for you. I gotta go take care of something right now.
Batman's like, well, actually, you're probably the person who needs to be responsible for him.
Especially because of the fact that he's in more ways than one. Like, Superboy is new to this world. Like, he's cloned and he was recently awoken, and he has the notions and like the mechanics of living because it was implemented into his brain because of the xenomorphs, but he doesn't himself have the experience of being active in the world. Superman or Clark, he he started his life as an infant here, but it's still like he's not of this world. So it's kind of like he's essentially an outsider himself. It's like you need to help him figure himself out. You're the one of the few that could do that. You can help him get in terms of his abilities and to better control them and to suss out these feelings he's having. So.
And I'll leave the commenters with a question for this episode. Okay. Do you think clones have existential crises?
What do you mean?
Like, do they think about their own mortality?
I mean, it probably would depend on the clone. This is important, Jake.
What?
How do you feel about Aster?
We're ending this here.
Alright, I guess, guys, that's
Robin's crappy wordplay that he keeps bringing back.
He has a fair point. As
he even has Superboy saying whelmed now in the middle of a fight.
Because he has a point. I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You add a this at a word, you change it.
No, we're not accepting this because
I'm accepting
this is something that I would bring up to Austin at like 3 a.m. and he would just be like,
well, yeah.
No, you're an idiot.
Well, yeah, I bring it up to... Well, yeah, but this is something Austin actually goes for. That's it for this week's episode of Justice, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to stick around for next episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button and to just keep going with Jacob's torture, like, apparently.
Mental breakdowns is what we'll call it.
Patreon for early access for all our videos that go up. Yeah, that's it. See you next week.